Hey Team Andrews. Hey Team Andrews. Team BB or Team BGMM. Those that follow me on my YouTube channel, you already know. Well, what you don't know is that I've been participating in a friendly competition in my with my university classmates, and the competition is basically an 8-week long competition, right? And we are basically what we're involved in is really quite fun, if you ask me. But we've already graduated. It's just that for our capstone for our university, we have to participate in this wonderful competition that they term. It's a simulation course called CAPSIM. And basically, it's if we've ever wanted to run our own company, be our own boss, really be a CEO, this is what the capstone is really going to make sure is that we're going to assume the roles of the CEO of a new mid-sized company, and we're in competition with other groups in our classroom because our job is to ensure that our company reaches market leadership in a competitive industry. And we have to do this over a course of 8 weeks. And we're basically trying to prove to ourselves and to our classmates if we're the best CEO in the class, right? So we are in week 6, right? And my group, it's 4 groups. It's Team Andrews, Team Baldwin, Team Chester, and Team Digby. So what this video is all about today is actually me talking to my team, Team Andrews, because we just finished round 6. We are entering round 7. And just in case you guys don't get an opportunity to talk to me or whatever this week, it's a busy week. The children are starting school. I know you guys are busy. It's a lot going on. So this is the best avenue that I knew in order to share my thoughts on the decisions that we should make for round 7, right? And the best way to do that is to go through our courier. Let's go to our courier. Our courier report is what we use in order to see how we're doing as far and market competitively, right? So I don't know if you can see this, but I usually print mine out. So Team Andrews, this is one of the things that I do, and then I'll go and I'll sit and I'll go over the numbers and over the numbers and over the numbers. Where is my favorite highlighter? Oh, it's upstairs because I was going over the numbers upstairs. Anyway, that does not stop this train. Okay, so what I see, Team Andrews, from the end of round 6, which was 2027, because that's very important for us to know, is that when I look at the selected financial statistics, their very first page, I'm seeing that we have 15% of the market, and Digby, our competitors, have 30% of the market, and the other 2 companies, they're not doing so well. They combined the 15%. Let's just say that. All right. So with that being said, Team Andrews, let's go to what these numbers mean so that we can correct ourselves and make the correct decisions for the last 2 rounds. All right. Yes. So this is what I came up with. Right. So what I initially do, Team Andrews, I'm going to go straight to page 4. So if you got this, Team Andrews, go ahead and go to page 4. Page 4 is a production analysis page. So we're going to look at right here. This is Team 4, the production analysis page. What I already see initially is that we stocked out. I don't like when we stock out, Team Andrews. This is a problem because stock out means our numbers are going to be low. And our competitors, they also stocked out. So that's not a problem because we see that they're having a low stock out issue themselves. We can do better. We got room for improvement in our production analysis. Now, when we break that down, let's see what was going on. Now, let me just say this, y'all. Team Andrews, when it comes to the automation, the computers that we're using instead of the high-tech labor, we are fairly consistent with what the CAPSIM training taught us to do. However, as I look at these numbers in competition and who's winning and who's beating us, it is Team Digby. And the reason why they're beating us is because everything that they have is at 10% automation. They invested in everything as far as 10% automation. And I also noticed that they're utilizing basically 6 different utilizing their warehouse for 6 products, and another one is coming out next year, and it's going to be competing with us. So that means they're going to have 7 products. Our competitors that we're gunning for these last 2 rounds, which I know we can do it. They literally, when I look at their numbers, I see that they got one new product that's coming out called the Dance. Oh, that's what they thinking they're doing, okay? And I'm also seeing that they didn't have any inventory left over. No inventory for no product. But that's why they stocked out. See, they ran out. See, they undercut themselves. So what that means is we need to go to page 10. So if you will, Team Andrews, let's go to page 10. All right. Now this is what page 10 looks like, Team Andrews. Now y'all know what this is up close. Now for those who don't know, you just don't know. This is for my group because honestly, I think we need to talk about these numbers. So Team Andrews, as you notice, you got the actual and you got the potential. So what we actually did when it came to our product Able was 28.6%. We could have potentially did 44.8%. So that means something went wrong with our forecasting. And I'll tell you why, all right, in a minute here. So we'll stick a pin in forecasting from last round. All right, so Acre, which we actually got 11.2% of the market share, we could have had 17. Again, we didn't formally correct that in marketing. That's what that means, you guys, which is not a problem because basically I was looking at the numbers from last round. And what I noticed with our forecasting is that you have a benchmark and then we have our forecast and then we have our price. So when it comes to marketing, we need to make sure that we're lowering our price 50 cents every round. I don't care what the cost is currently. We still need to lower our price 50 cents because that's what the customers like. And we're going to talk about that when we go deeper into each segment, okay? But basically what we're needing to understand, Team Andrews, is that we could have had 17% of our low product market share, but we only got 11.2%, and that's because we didn't forecast correctly. And the best way to forecast correctly is to put the right price in first. Marketing, you take that, you lower it 50%, lower it just only 50 cents every price. Once you get that, it's going to give you a new benchmark number. You're going to take that benchmark number, and what we're going to do is we're going to take that benchmark number and we're going to multiply it by the actual percentage potential we could have had in a market share. So that's what we're not doing. We're not taking the benchmark and basically we take the demand number and we multiply it by the potential market share percent. Okay. That's what we're going to do. So for marketing, I'm going to need y'all to start doing that. I'm going to need you to look at page 10 and have that on the ready. But then when you're doing your marketing and you're going to look at after you done change all the prices down 50 cents, I want you to look at the benchmark numbers, right? But just look at them. I just want you to just kind of notate that because that really don't matter. But then I want us to make our own forecast numbers from page 10. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to look at what the demand was, the units demanded. So you see at the very top of the potential market share, and it's at the very top of the actual share markets. But underneath, you will see that there's units demanded. Okay, units demanded, and I want us to work with potential units demanded numbers, because that's what's going to help us for the last two rounds. And we're going to take that unit demand and we're going to multiply it times whatever percentage of that segment. You get me? So if traditional is 12,000 units, we're going to multiply it times the potential percentage of for able, basically, if our traditional, which is able, is has a unit demand of 12,000 product, then I want you to take the Abel's percentage rate, which is right now at 44.8%. We could have had 44.8% of the market demand. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're going to multiply it times the units demanded. And then we're going to add back in the units demanded. And that's going to give us our forecast number. And that's the number we're going to use. It's going to be like 5,000 or 6,000. You'll see what I'm talking about. Just do the numbers. I did it for last round, but I didn't want to step on the toes. I wanted to play my position and be in a group. But as I see how things came out, we need to discuss that marketing. All right, so now we move on from marketing, because basically what we're looking at here, like I said, marketing, the best way to forecast each number is to go down each product and to look at each unit demand, multiply it by each potential percentage of the market share, added in back in the units demand to get your forecast numbers. If you need help with that, we can probably have a group meeting about that, and I can share the screen and show everybody how to do that. So the next thing that I look at, Team Andrews, when we're looking at our report as to why our numbers are kind of funny, I like to see who all got products out here, and that's on page 11. And so far, like I said, you don't even see that new dance product is coming out for Digby Corporation, because you can only see that on page 4 of our product analysis page. But I like to look at page 11 because it tells us who we competed with on that day, and it also gives me the perceptual map, because I like to make sure we're in the ideal spots of the perceptual map, and what everybody's because I'm R&D, research and demand. These numbers, performance and size, matter a lot to me, especially when I'm creating new products. I had to make sure that there wasn't nobody. Anyway, I had to take away their market share. So this is how I made the new products. But I use page 11. If y'all wondering what research and demand uses, I use page 11. And then I also go back to our industry analysis page and I look at the ideal spots for all of the performances and size for each round. Boom, that's how I do that. But then what I will rely on is marketing to take all the prices down 50 cents and then use the potential market share numbers in order to come up with the forecast numbers. And that way, and then I want us to really, really consider the lag. So when we're looking at accounts receivable, how long people are taking to pay us back, let's kind of make sure that we're paying our producers or suppliers more, because that's why we be running low in production. Because if our suppliers feel like we will pay our people first or let them get away with robbery first, then we're putting them second. Suppliers do not like to be second. So when we're doing our lag, we look at our accounts payable. We make that as less as possible. 20 days, 15 days is actually kind of cool. But when it comes to accounts receivable, listen, we can't let people be owing us all that long time. I need my money back in 30 days or less. I'm really tired. And if I'm feeling good for Christmas, maybe 40. But we had to do that in the last 2 rounds ago, just so that we could get back on track, because what we lost was in production. Which now let's talk to the production team, because when I'm talking to the production team, I'm going all the way back to page 4. Page 4, and that's our production analysis page. And then I'm also looking at each individual segment analysis, right? Because I want to know why we stocked out and how we stocked out, right? So that's in each individual. So y'all know we got all of these individual traditional segment analysis page, right? And it breaks down everything. This is how I see who done dropped out of the race. Y'all know Baldwin then gave up on 2 of their companies, right? So basically, Baldwin only got 5 companies or whatever, maybe 3. But when I look at this, I see that Baldwin wasn't participating in a couple of these analysis reports. Like they wasn't in the high end segment no more. And Baldwin is really not doing too well in the in the size. So they let go of their size segment and they let go of the high end statistic. The high end segment. So with that, that gave them more market share in other things because they could put their money towards more competing. And that goes back to the automation, right? So let's go back to the production. So what's going on is that we have more labor costs. We have higher labor costs. Team Digby came out the gate like, listen, we're not even about to hire people. We're about to do straight automated labor. And that's not really what our training in CAPSIM suggested. They actually didn't suggest us do it that way. They suggested that the traditional segment be at about 8 automation. It's in our industry analysis page. Look it up. You see it. They suggested that our low end segment be about 10% automation. They suggested that all the following segments be really like 5%. But when I look at our production analysis page from round 6, 2027, I see that Team Digby had automation 10 for each and every one of their products. And that's including the new product coming out. So that's what money they just spent. They just spent money on that. So, that's crazy. Just one quick second while I take this call, Team Andrews. Hey, sweetie. Hi, babe. We will talk about that in about 30 minutes. Let me call you right back, okay? Oh, okay. So I see that even a new product is going to be 10. They spend money on automation. So that means they're going to possibly take a lot of the sales. So y'all just know that. But even if we did adjust our automation this round, it's going to take till round 8 to show it. And we really can't be playing with them on that. But what we have got them on is the fact that we got 1, 2, 3 new products, and they're all doing relatively well. Matter of fact, they're the products that are actually competing with them, while the other products, that they're doing, we're just eating up all of that. We're taking all that. That's why we're still doing very well, Team Andrews. So I don't mean to be that way, but if you notice that Team Chester, their automations is still at 4, 5, 3s, and 3s. That's why they can't make no sales. And then if you notice that Baker been doing good, you know why? Because Baker got 10% automation in their traditional and their low end segments. And they basically went to 7 in the last 2 segments of size and height. So that's where they're competing with us on that. So this is why we're having a problem with production. So no matter how much money we're bringing in with our research and design and how much the market people see the potential, we don't have enough capacity, as this is explaining to us, to produce it. So we're going to have to figure that out. So what I was thinking as far as what Team Andrews can do in the last minute and a half of this that I'm going to do, because even with finances, I was thinking maybe we could sell off some of our long-term debt in finance. That's where you come in, finance department. And then I was thinking that maybe we could adjust some of our human resources, because when I look at the labor and statistics page, let me see, it says labor and statistics, and basically we are paying the most for direct labor. Okay, I just saw that. I'm not feeling that. I think we can adjust those numbers. But on the human resource summary, you can see that we need more people because we have less automation. All right. And then we also can see, like I said, which page is that when we're talking about how we're losing on the direct labor tip? Well, when I look at the financial summary on page 3, and I look at the various costs and the payments or whatnot, Digby is showing out. So if y'all could take a perusal at page 3, Team Andrews, that'll be great. And then, like I said, I want you to notice on page 2 that Digby only has one long-term share. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, and they'll be maturing very late. What can we do about that, finance department? Love, peace, hair grease. Love y'all, Team Andrews.